Welcome everybody to another episode of Ask GameSpot, the show where you ask us questions and we ask you competing questions. I'm Sean McGinnis, this is Carolyn Pettit, and today we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Our first question comes to us from RightTrigger360 on Twitter. RightTrigger360 wants to know about how much bigger will the GTA 5 map be than Red Dead?
Well, according to Rockstar, the land mass, which is the overworld area, is going to be about 3.5 times bigger. But if you include the new underwater deep-sea diving areas, because scuba exploration, a new feature of GTA 5, then it becomes about 5 times bigger.
Which, fun fact, makes it bigger than Red Dead, GTA 4, and GTA San Andreas combined.
So it's a pretty big map. Which is just kind of an abstract number when you think about it, but when you actually see the game and you're on top of a mountain and you stare out into the world, that's when it hits you. This is a pretty big map.
Yes, lots to explore out there.
All right, now our second question comes to us from Rizwan Ruined Ali on Facebook, who wonders, can we mod our cars like in San Andreas?
Absolutely. There will definitely be a vehicle customization in this. It's going to include spoilers, window tinting, brakes, suspension. So we don't really know the full extent of it yet, but you will absolutely be able to personalize your vehicles.
Yeah, so you do get cosmetic changes. You also get performance changes. One thing we don't know is whether it's going to have the sweet hydraulic system like in GTA San Andreas. That was kind of like a silly little addition that not a whole lot of people actually knew about unless they messed around with the analog sticks. Hopefully that's in there, because that was pretty fun.
It was fun. Our next question comes to us from Adman500 on Twitter asking, will GTA 5 have a hard lock control mode like Max Payne 3? Being a disabled gamer, a hard lock mode really helps.
Yeah, so it actually looks like Rockstar is borrowing a lot of ideas from Max Payne 3. You get the free aim, you get the soft lock aim, and also the hard lock aim, those were all in Max Payne 3, right?
They were, and so yeah, it seems like they're taking a lot of those ideas and making this as customizable as possible, and really hopefully delivering a much improved gunplay experience from what GTA 4 had to offer.
There is also a feature with the hilarious name Combat Jog, which is probably my favorite term in video gaming history. I don't know why. Combat Jog.
Combat Jog, yeah.
I'm going to go out for a light combat jog right now.
Which, in Los Angeles, not an uncommon thing to do.
Yeah,
occasionally just go for a combat jog.
Sometimes you just need a combat jog.
Yeah.
Next question comes to us from Key1L on Twitter, who asks, how many hours of gameplay is each 3 protagonists' storyline?
So, interestingly, you have 3 established characters here, and they do have their own missions and their own lives and their own stories, but also those are stories that intersect from time to time. And so you can't really think of it as 3 totally separate campaigns. It is one campaign with these intertwining stories.
Yeah, the comparison that Rockstar made was it's sort of like a long-form TV show where you jump to these different characters in different locations, but it's all part of the same arc.
Exactly. BoJB on Twitter asks, how long is loading between switching characters on the go?
It's not that long. I would say it's probably, like 4 to 5 seconds or so?
Yeah, and it's got this cool kind of stylistic touch to it where it's almost like a satellite view kind of zooming out and then kind of panning to the other geographical location and then zooming back in to where that character is and whatever he happens to be doing at that moment.
Yeah, there's a neat system there where you'll just pick up in that person's day-to-day life. And in the example of Trevor, there's a crazy situation where he's lying in his underwear on a beach with a bottle of whiskey in his hand and a whole bunch of dead bodies around him, which is funny, probably like the first time you see it, but I'm curious if these are going to be dynamic and you never see the same one twice, or if they're going to be recycled, because that thing is funny at first, but if you see it like 5 or 6 times throughout a 30-hour game,
it's going to start to seem artificial and canned, so hopefully they'll stay fresh throughout the experience.
Exactly. Next question comes to us from Philippe Georges Rousseau on Facebook, who asks, is Rockstar aware of the petition of over 170,000 signatures for the release of a PC version of GTA 5?
Well, if they're not, they certainly should be, and I find it very hard to imagine that they wouldn't be aware of this. Now, certainly we'd all love to see this game come to the PC. Rockstar, if you're listening, please put this game out on the PC.
Yeah, just the potential for mods in this game seems incredible. We've been watching an Iron Man GTA 4 mod this week, and it looks amazing. But you just never know when it comes to Rockstar and PC. They did a PC port of LA Noire. They did Max Payne 3 on PC. But Red Dead Redemption
never showed on PC.
Yeah. So hopefully, Rockstar, please make a PC version. we beg of you.
Delayed KL on Twitter asks, is the map still split into 3 sections? And if so, do you still need to unlock the other 2 like in other GTA games?
So you definitely don't need to unlock portions of the map.
All open to you from the get-go.
The one thing I wasn't sure of, is it just one big island, or are you like crossing into different sort of like regional chunks?
Right. I mean, it's certainly from what we saw, it looked like it was one contiguous, land mass.
Yeah.
We can't really confirm that for sure, but that's the impression that I got from the demo that we saw.
Yeah. But if you do have to swim between islands, watch out for sharks.
Yes.
There are sharks.
But also go down under the ocean and look for some buried treasure, because you never know what you might find under the ocean.
Our next question comes to us from Player vs. Me on Twitter, who says, we haven't had much info on multiplayer. Does it exist? To what extent?
Yes, it exists. To what extent exactly, we
No
don't
idea.
quite know.
No clue.
But the potential for multiplayer in an environment like this just seems huge and crazy. And, they did say that it's going to be this kind of new approach.
Yeah.
It's going to be the boldest multiplayer we've ever done, but what that actually will end up entailing, who knows? That your guess is as good as ours, but it seems like the sky's the limit.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really hoping for is that they improve the free roaming multiplayer, which was in GTA 4. You could get players together in just sort of like a lobby and have them roam anywhere you wanted. The trade-off was that the population of the city took a nosedive. There were memory limitations, so you didn't have as many cars and pedestrians out there. I'm hoping the city still feels alive when you have everybody roaming together.
Celebruce on Twitter asks, will you be able to create your own character and his appearance?
You don't create your character, it's just the 3 guys in the game, but you do get to customize your character to some extent. There's clothing, there's haircuts, and also tattoos.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to making my character look like a complete idiot. I don't know about you, Kara.
I'm not so much. I don't get as much enjoyment out of that as you do, Sean, but I always enjoy watching your handiwork.
We do play video games in very different ways.
Yes, we do.
Next one comes to us from Daniel Abraham on Facebook, who says, does the dog ring you up to see if you want to go bowling?
No, you call him, and when he answers, it looks a little something like this. Mark Griffiths on Facebook asks, would it be better to hold out for it to land on new systems?
I mean, probably yes. It would look a little bit more HD, and you'd probably have less of the pop-in that we saw in the game.
But having said that, I mean, I was really impressed with the way this game looks. It was running, we saw it on a PlayStation 3, and it looked really impressive. I mean, there was a moment where a character came out from under the ocean where he'd been scuba diving, and the ocean just had this beautiful blue-green shimmer to it, and I actually kind of gasped at how gorgeous it looked.
Yeah, you can tell that this game has been in development for a long time, probably since 2008 when they finished GTA 4, and this is the result of people who know the platforms really well. And when you're trying to hit a moving target like a next generation console, when you don't really know what the specs are going to be, I think it probably helps that they really know this system.
Yeah, and this game could end up being a great kind of swan song for the current generation of consoles.
That said, hopefully there is a next-gen port, because you do see some of those little hiccups every now and then. All right, and our final question comes to us from who else? XX Naruto Fan 2004 XX from Airbnb? How do you even, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Anyways, he says, I spent literally 900 hours searching for the Sasquatch in GTA San Andreas, only to find out that Rockstar was playing a cruel joke on me the entire time. Before I go and invest that kind of time into GTA 5, I want to know definitively whether or not there will be a Sasquatch in this game. Please, for the love of God, tell me the truth. I can't survive losing another 6 months of my life for nothing. Well, Naruto Fan, I think there's really only one way to find out the answer to that question. Let's go to the footage. Okay, here we go. And that looks interesting. Why don't we enhance that a bit? Enhance it. Enhance. Oh, that's just Max Payne out in the woods. All right, sorry, Naruto Fan. It's another 900 hours for you. Well, with that, we come to the conclusion of another thrilling episode of Ask GameSpot. Caro, thank you very much for lending your GTA 5 knowledge.
My pleasure.
All right, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching, and make sure to check out even more GTA 5 coverage at GameSpot.com.